Hi everyone, and thank you for joining again. This is part 3 of my luxury crochet bag tutorial. The small one is the one that I made in the original video, and in this video I will show you how you can make a bigger version. Besides of the obvious that we need a different stitch count and row count, we will change the position of the D-rings and we will make a different handle. So the next part is borrowed from my old tutorial. I made this bag with this yarn here, the small one as well as the big one. And we will work with a 2.5mm hook. As usual, please check out the video description for all the details that you need. Now, as I said, this part is borrowed from my old tutorial because I want to give you a quick overview of the pattern that we use. We start the bag with our slip knot, and then you have to make 60 chain stitches. 60 chain stitches. When you have 60 chain stitches, you start in the second chain from the hook, this one here, and go back all the way with single crochet. So we skip the first chain, which means that our row consists of 59 single crochet. At the end of the row, you chain 1, turn around, and again work single crochet all the way back. Now you can see here that this part is borrowed from my old tutorial. Your bag is bigger, of course. At the end of the row, you again chain 1, turn around, and we will make another row with 59 single crochet. And again, at the end of the row, chain 1, turn around, and now we will start our pattern. So every row starts and ends with at least one single crochet. And then for the pattern, you poke in below these or between these horizontal loops here. So this is where you poke in, between these horizontal loops. Then I always yarn under, bring the thread up to the edge, and close the stitch. Then you make a single crochet again, And the reason why I yarn under is that those two strands here on the front side have to be next to each other. So they shouldn't be twisted, but they should look like a V. And for me it's easier to get that when I yarn under. So let's do that again. Check for the horizontal loops. Poke in between them. Yarn under. Pull the thread up to the edge and close the stitch. Then single crochet again. At the end of the row, you chain one, turn around, and now we make as many single crochet as we need to reach the two neighboring strands. So, and these two here are the ones that I mean. So I think it's better to say two strands of the neighboring V's, I think. Anyway, these two. You single crochet, you make so many single crochets you need until you reach these two strands here. And then you poke below them like this. Grab the yarn, pull it through below them, bring it up to the edge, and close the stitch. Then single crochet, and then you have two of these neighboring strands again, which means you poke in below them, like this. Grab the yarn, pull it through, bring it up to the edge, and close the stitch. Then single crochet again, and this is what you do until the end of the row. At the end of the row, you chain one again, as I said, our first stitch of the row will always be a single crochet. And this is the area where we need to make the next pull through stitch. So single crochet. We can't make a pull through in the next stitch because we are right above the pull through of the last row where we made these stitches. So we make a second single crochet instead. And now between the two pull through stitches you can see the horizontal loops again, and they again mark where you have to poke in. So poke in there like this, and on the front side this is where your hook has to appear. This is the correct position. And then again, yarn under, bring it up to the edge and close the stitch. Single crochet again. Then you can see the horizontal loops here again. This is where your hook has to appear. Yarn under, bring it up to the edge and close the stitch. Single crochet. And this is what you do until the end of the row. And in the same way like our row started, it will also end with 2 single crochet. So as I said, this is borrowed from the old tutorial. Your bag will be wider, of course. In the end of the row, chain 1, turn around, and now we make so many single crochets we need to reach these 2 neighboring strands. 1, 2, 3 this time. And now we again have the front side pattern where we poke in below these 2 strands, pull the thread through, and then close the stitch. Then single crochet again. After finishing this row, you will do the backside pattern again, where you start with 1 single crochet and then make the pull through stitch. So let's repeat. For this big bag, we started with 60 chains, which meant 59 single crochet for 3 rows, and then you will have to make 69 pattern rows. So including the 3 single crochet rows, you have 72 rows until you have this back shape, and then you end with 1 row single crochet. For the sides, we start with our slip knot again, and then we make 31 chains. So again, I will make just a little sample here. You will make 31 chains. Then you again start in the second chain from the hook and go back all the way with single crochet. So that means 30 single crochet for you. At the end of the row, you chain 2, and from now on we will work in half double crochet. So just work half double crochet until you reach the end of the row. So again, we made 30 single crochet, so in this row that means 30 half double crochet. At the tip, you will need this loop here, and we will make 2 half double crochet in this loop. Number 1, number 2, and then we work along the lower side of the foundation chain. Again, half double crochet. These are the 2 stitches that we doubled. At the end of the row, you chain 2 again and work back to the tip. Now these are the 2 stitches that we doubled, and they will be doubled again in this row. Which means you make 2 half double crochet in each of them. Number 1, number 2, number 1, number 2. So our stitch count at the tip here increases to 4 stitches in total. And then again, you just make half double crochet until the end of the row. Chain 2 and work back all the way. In this row, we again double all of these stitches. Now our stitch count is increased from 4 to 8 at the tip. And in the last row, you might guess what we do. We double all of these 8 stitches again. So we have a total stitch count on the tip of 16 stitches. And of course you have the 30 stitches on both of the long sides. As I said, I'm just making a little swatch here because I think the tip is the most important thing to show you. When you finish this side, you chain 1, and we will now work along this short side here, this side, because it looks a little wonky, and we will make a row single crochet so that it's nice and straight. So just poke in wherever you can reach a loop. So there's no strict rule which one you have to use here. Just poke in wherever you can reach. Now this one looks good. Then we can use this one here. You also don't need a certain stitch count here for the top, because as I said, we just want to have a nice and straight edge here, because it will be visible in the end. Now when the side is done, you chain 1, and I borrow this part from the old video again because it's the very same technique. You poke in the main part, then poke in the side panel. Now grab the yarn and pull it through all the loops on your hook, so we make a slip stitch. Then poke in the main part again, poke in the side panel, and slip stitch. And slip stitch. So as I said, the technique is the very same. The only difference is that your back pieces are bigger than the ones that you can see here. So this is the size of your side panel, and you slip stitch all around, then cut the thread and sew it in. Now we will fix the D-rings in a different place and with a different technique, so that they are so that they can carry more weight because the bag is bigger. And to fix them, we will again start with a slip knot. Then chain 5, starting in the second chain from the hook, go back all the way with single crochet, So we have 4 single crochet in a row. And this should now be in the same length like the bar of the D-ring. So if you use the same D-ring and yarn that I'm using here, 4 single crochet will be the correct size. If you change the yarn or the D-ring size, then please make sure that the single crochets are as wide as the bar of your D-ring. Then you chain 1 and just work in rows of single crochet. So in total you need 14 rows. And then you take this little piece and fold it around the D-ring like this. And then you sew this part to the side panel, which is already fixed to your bag. I will use my little swatch here again to show you the technique. So I cut a long tail, and now you always poke in through the side panel and through the other side of this D-ring thing here. Then poke back through the D-ring part, through the side panel, and through the D-ring part again. And you have to make sure that this is sewn on really well, because it's a bigger bag that will carry more weight, and the D-rings are a crucial point. They will basically carry all the weight. So make sure that it's sewn on really, really well here. And this way you would just go back and forth through the D-ring part and through the side panel. And in the end, this is how it looks like. Now for the handle, you can of course do the same handle like we did for the other bag, but change the D-ring position only. I wanted to make something different for this bag here. So I will make a magic ring with 8 single crochet. This should be 8 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Correct. Then close the ring. Very tight. And now it should be in the size like this metal thing here, so that you can squeeze it in there. If this is the case, we go on with the handle by poking in the back loop only of the single crochets and just work single crochets in spirals. Here, check again if it indeed fits, and this is the case, looks good. So as I said, you now just go on working back loop only single crochet in spirals. I worked until my handle was round about 21 centimeters long. You can of course just vary the size of it. I already cut the thread. Here, pull it through, and then I grab my darning needle. And just sew it in with a few stitches. So I poke in here, for example, so as I said, just poke in somewhere and sew it in. In the end, just cut the thread. I cut it here a little too long, which I will notice in a few seconds. And then you squeeze on this metal thing. Now I notice that the yarn is still showing. And I cut it shorter and do everything again. So you get what you have to do, I think. I will do the rest off camera. So, it is fixed now, and you will have these little screws here that you will now have to fix with a little screwdriver now. In total there are 4 screws, and I filmed the only one where I had struggles to fix it. So the others were super easy to fix. This one here will be a little difficult, but you will see. So it still shows a bit. So as I said, the other screws were super easy to fix, but this was the only one where I had a little problem. Now, it worked anyway. So now to fix the upper D-rings, I marked where I want them to be. I just checked the pattern row that is right above the D-ring, and I counted 6 of these V's, and in the very same row counted 6 V's from the other side and marked both with a little stitch marker. And the D-rings will be placed like this above them. To fix the D-rings, as I said, they will be placed like this above the stitch markers. You remove the little screws here. And then I squeeze it through the flap at the place where I want it to be. There it is. There you can see it. Now, holding the screw in its place where it is, we take the D-ring and place it on it. Now I hold both parts with one hand, take my screwdriver, and now fix it in this position. And then you do the same with the second screw. In the end, you just have to fix the lock here with these little screws and these side or corner things. And I recommend to sew plastic canvas inside your bag. I just took one sheet of it, folded it half and placed it in the bag. And for the side parts, I cut out some pieces, and as you can see, I sewn them on with just a few stitches of the yarn. And that's it. I hope you liked the tutorial. If yes, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel.